I'm CEO of Polígrafo. I am also a governance body member of the European Fact-Checking Standards Network. But I want to present Vital, a project created to fight cancer, disinformation, and misinformation throughout journalism, scientific validation, and digital storytelling. This project was developed in partnership with the Champalimaud Foundation, one of the most important oncology and neuroscience institutions here in Portugal. So, for let me briefly explain who we are. Portugal, a leading independent fact-checking newsroom. We work daily to verify political, social, and digital misinformation through evidence-based journalism. And we a specialized health misinformation project, fighting the health misinformation project, focused on false and misleading medical content circulating online, of course, on social media. Although the same company, they operate with different editorial teams and different editorial identities as well. Vital, the project Vital, emerged from the combination of Polígrafo, very precise, and experience, and of course, the scientific support of the Champalimaud Foundation as well. And why this matters to us and to the community fighting disinformation. Is not just an online communication problem, it is a public health problem as well. According to the World Health Organization, disinformation affects behaviors and as well. Shows that of cancer-related social media posts contains misinformation, and that around 77% of misleading cancer content may actually harm patients. So, chemotherapy, food, stress, or alternative treatments spread very fast on platforms like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And more vulnerability. When people this, they are often afraid, confused, and searching for answers. That makes them especially vulnerable to misinformation. Vital created to respond to this challenge by transforming complex oncology knowledge into accessible, verified, and socially useful information. And what makes Vital different is its collaborative structure. Only on journalism, or only on medicine, or only on social media communication. So I was saying that usually health communication projects focus only on journalism, or only on medicine, or only on social media communication. Vital combines three dimensions that are rarely integrated in the same initiative. First, journalistic verification, including fact-checking, debunking, and pre-bunking. Pre-bunking is key here. Second, scientific validation with the support of oncology specialists at the Champalimaud Foundation. And third, platform native digital communication, meaning content specifically adapted for social media ecosystems and modern audience behavior. This created a multidisciplinary response capable of combining scientific rigor with mass public reach. And our strategic mission of Vital, of these projects, was very simple: make reliable oncology information accessible to ordinary people. We wanted to improve health literacy, supported informed decisions, and of course fight misinformation at the same time. In the middle of what the World Organization calls the infodemic, Vital became a structured editorial response focused specifically on oncology. Our goal was not only to correct false information, it was also to explain complexity in a language people could understand. One of the main strengths of the project was the diversity of formats and platforms. We produce 154 original pieces of content that include fact checks, social media videos, videocasts, first-person testimonies, interviews with experts, and a dedicated microsite. This multi-platform strategy was essential because misinformation itself is multi-platform. So we have to answer on the same side. Fact checks generated the highest engagement in this project, representing more than 30% of total views. And these projects ran for 9 months. But audio and video formats together surpassed 2.7 million views, showing the importance of emotional and visual communication in health journalism. In total, Vital generated 6.6 million page views across all distribution platforms of Polígrafo and Vital, and all the 154 pieces were scientifically reviewed, and we published 80 oncology-related fact checks. For a niche project focused especially on cancer disinformation, these numbers exceeded our expectations, I must be honest. And again, this initiative was only made possible through the support of the Champalima Foundation, which helped guarantee that scientific credibility and medical validation throughout the project. The core public utility of Vital was fact-checking. As I said before, we produced 80 fact checks that together generated more than 2 million views, and this article systematically dismantled dangerous oncology myths. Some examples included vitamin B17 cures cancer, misinformation about chemicals and the food industry, and misleading claims linking stress directly to cancer. Our top performing fact check asked if cancer is caused only by the food industry chemicals. That single piece reached more than 200,000 views. So, and of course, and I must stress out that all fact-checking follow the IFCN and the FCSN standards and methodologies. So, Vital was not only about saying something is true or false. Some topics required explanation, nuances, and context. And that is why Preunking is very important to fight disinformation. Fact-checking is not enough. Debunking is not enough. We addressed complex issues like increasing cancer diagnosis among young adults and the growing role of AI in oncology. This format allows us to slow down the conversation and create deeper understanding of the issue. One of the most important lessons from this project was that emotion matters. Disinformers use emotion, so fact-checkers has to use emotion as well. People connect with stories before they connect with data, and you all know that. That's why we create a podcast, a videocast episode, and first-person testimonies combining patient experience with clinical dialogue. These formats generated strong emotional engagement and helped bring science closer to real human experience. Our podcast content alone surpassed 1.6 million views. And we notice that audiences particularly engage with stories focused on resilience, fear, diagnosis, of course, and most of all, hope. There are some examples of the human stories featured in Vital. Vital is a Portuguese project, but I translate that for you. One patient speaking about discovering prostate cancer by accident, one public figure in Portugal explaining how she focused on the cure rather than on the disease, and one Portuguese doctor, and I stress this out, doctor, talking about never having had prostate prevention screening before the age of 60. And these testimonies help transform oncology communication from abstract medical language into relatable human experience. We also focus heavily on short video content. We produced 22 videos for TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, generating more than 1.1 million views. And this was particularly important for reaching younger audiences and people who normally do not consume traditional health journalism. Our most successful video addressed the question, does radiotherapy spread cancer? Other highly viewed videos explore stress and cancer or viral myths involving lemon juice and baking soda cures. We see all that on social media. And this demonstrated that evidence-based medical content can successfully compete inside social media ecosystems if it is adapted to the language and formats of those platforms. Over time, Vital established itself as a credibly sealed within the Portuguese media, the combination of the Champalimau Foundation, Polígrafo verification expertise, and viral check distribution strategy as well. All of that created what we describe as public health communication infrastructure. An interesting example is that with only 9 months, Vital, the microsite of this project, already appeared among the top Google search results for the keyword vital, despite how generic that the word is. And that demonstrates strong audience trust and digital visibility as well. So, to conclude, Vital demonstrated that there is a real public demand for credible, accessible, and emotional engaged health information. It also showed that combating health misinformation requires more than scientific accuracy alone. It requires, I must say, journalism, it requires empathy, it requires storytelling as well, and it requires adapting scientific communication to the realities of digital platforms. At a time when disinformation can directly influence treatment decisions and public trust in medicine, I think projects like this are not simply editorial initiatives, they are part of the public health response.